Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Tuesday. It's May 28th, 2024. It's a fine day. I have the window open. Hopefully you can hear the birds chirping. And hopefully there are no other disturbances beyond that. I apologize in advance if so. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. I hope you're doing well. And that your week is off to a magnificent start. See what we got here. One more cut. Strength card. We love to see it. Yes, we do. Strength card is always a good time. It is a sign of strong willpower, self-control, stamina, and balance, energetic balance between the spiritual and primal nature. Okay, yeah, and this is having high standards and strong and healthy boundaries, but in this case I would even say strong boundaries with the strength card. All right, so I heard the pull-out game is strong, but what I think that really means is the cutoff game. Oh no, hold on, let me see this next card. Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe both, but you know, I wouldn't gamble that way if I were you. However, it's something about the cutoff game here, like somebody's standards and their boundaries are so firm that if there's any point of contention or resistance beyond what that line is established to be, they out without a question asked, like in a blink of an eye, no considerations, concessions, or apologies. It's just like somebody knows how to get the hell on when they need to, and that's not a bad trait to have at all. Yeah. Temperance, and the universe supports you in that energy. 100%. Yes, for your own spiritual protection, your peace of mind. Definitely emphasis here on strong will and self-control, moderation, even with the temperance. But this actualization of protection is on account of highly considering your own peace of mind and not making sacrifices for anything that might jeopardize that. And that could be from the inside out as well. Again, with the strength card, that could even be abstaining from certain habits with this wand energy, or certain behaviors, certain temptations, even overindulgences. So somebody's definitely high powered here. Yeah, because you've whomever learned a great deal of lessons and has been enlightened to kind of know their limits, it seems. And in some ways it may have been by unfavorable experiences to kind of know, you know, when too much is too much, or even when too little is not enough, if that's a thing too. Maybe boundaries may not have been strong enough in the past, and that's how you've come to some enlightenment about what that needs to be in order for you to be in a healthy spirit, mind, and body state. Well, go ahead then, girl, boy, whomever. You on to something there for sure, because that's not an easy task, especially given with the Seven of Wands card. Sometimes there is a demand on your energy from people, places, and things that may even have some level of entitlement to it. Consider your job, your family, your friends, just being exposed in the world at all. You know, as soon as you step out into the world, having to then navigate energies that we coexist with, you know, and still maintain. Hell, you don't even leave the house and still find yourself navigating the frequencies of the world that can be quite often chaotic. Forget about imbalance, like outright chaotic, and still maintaining a frequency of peace and a posture of prosperity, regardless, to even just to abstain from being swept into that current and to kind of keep your head above the fray is no small feat. It's literally the epitome of this energy here of balancing the spiritual, the natural, and the primal essence of you in one embodiment. So somebody's learned how to do that well. Let's see what else we got here. Or is learning how to do it well. But there seems to be some achievement here presently, especially with the Six of Wands. Like, whatever your method of this is already is evident, whether there is a public display and observance or like spectatorship to some degree, like whether you have a platform or you're a public figure, or just even within your community, there's something that is distinctly recognizable about how you live your life, the things that you engage in, the choices that you make, and how that, I guess, what you stand for. Yeah, in a simpler phrase, like, this is definitely about standing your ground with the Seven of Wands, and there's some recognition here, even if it's just of a spiritual essence, because really, who cares if humans really see you? But there's something here about being quite recognizable for your spirit and actions being in alignment, and it being an exemplary display of that truth. Again, against great resistance and great odds, high stakes as well, but it's still being something that you've done not only diligently, but again, you've done well. Exemplary is the word. You know, you've done something quite well, uniquely and admirably, that not only are you recognized in the spirit, but perhaps folks actually admire you or observe you for what you do in high regard. But also with that, there's the adverse energy of those that would want to resist or object, you know, and it could be from the frequency more or less of this is admiration, but the distortion between the two polarities when it veers into, you know, borderline jealousy or whatever. But ultimately it comes from the projection of, it comes from people seeing, well, I should say the projection of potential. There it is. Oftentimes, even people that have an objection to what you do, it's not really you. It's what they see in you of themselves that is provocative. Same in the highest frequency of those that are inspired. So either way, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing to be done about it, but except to continue to prioritize your peace, to stay in alignment with your supreme being, and to keep your boundaries and standards high, if not elevated even beyond, you know, what is now, to meet whatever standard is necessary. Like maybe you may need to raise your security levels, perhaps, you know, maybe that's the word here. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe on the count of, oh, and there it is. 7 of Swords. You may need to raise your security. Oh, boy. Not in fear, just, I heard in faith, but in fortitude. Maybe because you're becoming, you are becoming, have become, or, you know, are at some point going to be a more public figure. Whether your platform is increasing and your exposure, you may become more exposed. Let's just say it like that. Because this could be a matter of being promoted to a new position or having some great success even at your workplace, at the job, and where it is before, maybe people didn't really pay you too much attention. You know, you were just one of the team members or just another employee, but now the boss is recognizing you for your great work. So your coworkers are more attentive to who you are and what you do and how you do it. And some may be inspired to know how you do it, and some may be incited to try to sabotage you. You know, it literally can just work either way, but ultimately it's not going to diminish your achievements and accomplishments unless somehow you default on integrity in that regard. And the Strength card here with the Temperance to lead says that you're a strong-willed person. There's not too much that, and as I said, the pull-out game, the cutoff game, whichever it is, that's really making me laugh right now. Whichever it is. And since I said pull out, and there is quite a bit of wand energy here, definitely masculine or feminine, be protective of your sexual energy right now. That's your creative force fuel. And it could be that on account of this new recognition or heightened exposure or newfound fame, even whatever it is, that you are more of a spectacle for some that may not have the best of intentions. Whether they even mean to not have the best of intentions is of no matter, because what it comes down to is that your energy is so premium at this time that you wouldn't want to engage in activities, connections, or whatever in a way that could be depreciating of that frequency. You on a high, you want to stay there. So if it's not a hookup, if it's not a holy hookup, my pastor back in the day used to say, hook up with the holy, you know, like if you ain't hooked up with the holy, or you ain't, or it don't look holy to you, then a hookup may or may not be worth it. Pull out game strong or no, you know. And ladies, birth control, you know, strong or no, whatever it is, it's like it's more at stake here, at risk, than missing out on a good time, you know, or even the high of the good time itself, the arousal of the good time, whatever that may be, because, you know, it's coming out quite sexually for a reason. And certainly, Strength card is about willpower. Temperance is also about, you know, managing your indulgences, you know, in moderation. Again, in any way, shape, and form, it could be just being clear about your limits and, you know, when you may be doing too much or too little is important for me to say, especially when you got energy like the Seven of Swords out and about seeking whom it can kill, steal, and destroy. You know? Some people just want to be a part of a good thing. No tea, no shade. Not even trying to hurt you, but just wanting to hook up with your holy. Literally. And can you blame them? Yeah, exactly. But all they really have is a Page of Wands to bring to the table. You're sitting at the 6. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it could be fun. It could even be exciting. It could even be new, a new adventure. But temperance is key. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to move on. Exactly, because you're the Queen of Wands, baby. Everybody want to hook up with you. There's great benefit. It's a good time. It looks good. It feels good. You know, this is that energy that is inspiring and impressionable as fire energy can be, to just change a whole mood by their presence. You know, really quite alluring and arousing in essence is the Queen of Wands energy. So, I mean, for some of you, you just can't help what you incite by your presence alone. You just can't help it. It is what it is. But what you can help is what you choose to engage with and what you are protective of. Because just because, you know, you bring all the boys to the yard doesn't mean that you gotta let them all in. Not everybody gains access and entry. It just is what it is, with no apologies. So maybe, again, that's the cutoff game here. The pull-out game and the cutoff game. So this could go for masculine or feminine, but the pull-out game is a bit more risky because it's a bit more questionable, because it's speaking about the energy of being willing to take a risk, which sometimes fire energy is prone to do, to take a gamble, especially on adventure and fun and excitement and discovery. But it's just really weighing the odds of that gamble, you know, the stakes, the odds. Like, is it really worth it beyond that moment? Think beyond the potential, you know, beyond the immediate gratification. What are we talking about and why? Somebody has a great deal of allure in their essence, and it's nothing that you can do about it, because it's not even illusionary, you know, with the grounding of temperance. That's like heaven and earth, you know, alchemically aligned. It's you couldn't, it's in your DNA to some degree to just be magnetic, like a magnetic force. You can't demagnetize a magnet. It just is what it is. The only thing you can do is change the charge of whatever, or make sure that it's out of reach of things that would, okay. It's really about boundaries here. Make sure it's out of reach of things that could attract to it, because some of those things might not be a positive charge or a negative charge if you're the positive charge. Whatever it is, there's some question here. Oh my Lord. Oh Lord, talk about bringing the boys to the yard. But your eye is on the prize for the wand, the opportunity, the energetic alignment that matches your frequency. So you're already quite selective, and that's fine. You've earned that right to be. I don't even know if it's a matter of earning it as it is just assuming it and establishing it anyway. But it gives to me with the Six of Wands that you actually have earned some audacity here to be quite exclusive and selective. Not everybody, that may not be music to people's ears from the outside in. You know, you may get a bit of a pushback, like, who do you think you are? You think you better than me? You think you know, like that type of energy. I've been kicked out of better places. You might get that pushback, but I would say, again, stand your ground and let that go in one ear and out the other, because the ones that probably have the most to say in objection are probably the ones that need to be kept as far out of your magnetic field, your auric field, as possible. Because otherwise, it's like, how could you fault somebody for establishing their own standards? You can't be mad at that, even if it doesn't suit you, even if it doesn't benefit your favor. It is what it is, and you have to respect it. So anybody that would be disrespectful to those boundaries or to your, I just heard triggers, so I don't know what that's about, but it is also a matter of an establishment of respect, self-respect, and a command of respect. And those that are not willing to adhere to those terms, they stay on the outside. Those that are, and maybe even those that are able and willing, people, places, or things, mind you, but whatever is willing to not only align and meet you where you are, but that actually has the potential to elevate, expand, ascend your position. Oh, come on in. And trust me, just as solitary as this Ace of Wands is, compared to this Seven of Wands energy here, where you got 6 wands fighting against you, there are far few that are for you and able and willing to meet you where you are than there are that will be against you, even when they don't mean to be. It's just what it is at this time. So that should make your discernment a lot easier to you know, commit to at this time as well. Damn. Got the big guns out there. The Ace of Wands. Yeah, I'm gonna take it upside down too. Yeah, because everybody's not willing to work on the same level. not everyone has done the same level of work and achieved a certain status of security and self-control and, wisdom and power by way of alchemy, because here that is again. And I'll say today, like, alchemy in particular, there's a range of an expression that I could share, but the way I relate to it most is spiritually first, if nothing else. Because it's turning one substance, transforming one substance into another. But how I relate to it most, particularly, is through spirituality, and how we have a great deal of experiences in life, but what we do with it on the spiritual, natural, and primal level, and how we balance our responses, reactions, and even proactions in that regard is what exemplifies you as an alchemist or not. It's a very actualized gift or appointment of sorts, like a position. You don't just, it's not, and it's also not just in what you're able to manifest or bring to life. It's even more emphasis on how you do it. Your motivation, your initiation, your activation, all along that journey, all along that process. Particularly in a world such as this, where we're spiritual, living a human experience, and there's so many primal projections that we contend with day to day. Not every, like I said, here's the earning part. Not everybody is able to achieve in a way that is sanctioned by spiritual ordinance and standards, but somehow it's still also evident in the natural sense as well. And there has been no harm, no foul, no real rules broken to the point of, being irredeemable, if that's the word. Like, of course, nobody's perfect, and we all have had our experiences and training, so to speak. But ultimately, how you've actualized the spiritual nature of yourself with great stakes, with terrible odds, is what affords you the title of an alchemist. And not everybody adorns that title. Not everybody here's the work right here. Again, in the reverse, some people worked exclusively for the motivation of a material reward and return, and that's not the carrot dangled, for anyone aspiring. That's not the carrot you're after as an aspiring alchemist. It's not about what you'll gain materially, because most times that reward doesn't crystallize until much later down the line. If you're lucky, sometimes it may not ever crystallize in the way that matches your invested energy or the work that you've sown. Maybe it may not even be for the generation beyond you for it to materialize. But for many of us in this lifetime, we are receptors of those that have paved the way before us, those that have done the work, committed themselves to the work, and even in the limited enlightenment that was privileged at that time, back to the hangman, but there still was a way that was paved that made the road that much more clear for us in this present time. And there are still certain things that we may or may not achieve that will be left up to our children, but what we have accomplished or will accomplish and are accomplishing in this lifetime will make it so that there are certain paths that they won't even have to venture down because of closing the cycle, closing the road on those dead ends before they could even have to contend with it, let alone the roads that we actually open new and fresh, shortcuts even for them to travel on, So anyway, consider all of that, and I could say more in the way of alchemy for sure, but consider that everybody has not aspired to that level of achievement and esteem. And even when they thought that they were, it was more jaded by the appointment and anointing of the world's idea of alchemy and manifestation, like success by societal standards, which would be materialized, which would be measured by your materialization more than your spiritualization, So no tea, no shade. That's just the difference in actuality of spirit and truth, which is even more evidential that everybody that may look the part isn't necessarily the partner, whether it be intimately, platonically, or professionally or creatively. There's a certain charge that you may possess that is invaluable or precious, dare I say, and it could make all the difference even in alignment with things that are not in. It's like you would absolutely enhance anything that you engage with. So it would be no wonder there. Say you take a job and all of a sudden the business is thriving. Oh, well, you're there. But that doesn't mean that the business is an asset for you. You know what I mean? Same with a relationship. You hook up with somebody and they're, skyrocketing successfully in whatever way they want to. You literally, and I'm sure anybody that can relate to this frequency can reflect on relationships or even friendships that you were a part of where you could see the evidence of how people have become better or were advanced or enhanced in some way that you may or may not take credit for, but there's clearly, a track record here. If you wanted to take credit for it, you wouldn't be without evidence for it, But the point is that I'm trying to make, not to be prideful or egotistical at all, is that you have a great deal of energetic essence to bring to whatever table you pull up a chair at. So you definitely have the right to decide who gets to pull up on you, let alone pull out. Exactly. With the Five of Wands, like this is the competition here. So people either want to compete to be apart, to be connected, or they want to compete against. Either way, it's like that's a them problem, not a you problem. Because really, it could be flattering to consider, if you think about it like relationally, people feeling compelled to compete over you. Like, it could be ego boosting, but in actuality, when it comes down to it, me personally, I'm not interested. Let me be clear. If there's any energies out here so-called fighting to the death over me, I don't want any of you, because I'm not a commodity to be possessed, you know what I mean, or to be acquired. The person that truly has gained access from a divine ordinance is that Ace of Wands energy that doesn't see the need to compete where they don't compare, because there is no comparison. And they think so highly of themselves that upon presentation in their purest form of passion, they already have the confidence and courage to know that they are a catch just as much as the object of the passion that they objectify, or the object of the affection that they are desirable of. And that means that if in fact it's not an alignment, it's not a match, or there is no interest, there's no chemistry perhaps, or it just doesn't really necessarily align the way that it was envisioned to. That's okay too. God be with you. You know, it's like no loss, no harm, no foul, no love lost, no harm, no foul. That person will be confident enough to know that the one that is for them wouldn't incite any type of savagery like this, to the point where they feel like they have to prove themselves to be the best for above the rest type of energy. You kind of, for me, for my juices to flow, you kind of got to step to it like you already know you are. Leave that fight back there. Leave them to their own devices. You know, you ain't fighting for my honor. Maybe one thing, you know what I mean? If you feel the need to defend, you know, just honorably so for whatever reason. But even that, leave that to heaven, you know, like don't even waste your time. What's up with me and you? Like, where were we? And where are we going? How about that? What are we about to do? What we about to get into? All that other stuff, don't even let that take care of itself. It literally will eliminate itself, you know? So even, I can't even vouch for that, for the valiant fight for the honor of the object of your affections, because I think a wise energy even still would know that there's just a more prosperous investment for that passion. You know, like bring that over here. Let's do something productive with that. Make some money, you know, have a good time, explore new things, not expend it on this. Like, no thank you. So as cute, you know, as it may sound, like, oh, they fighting over me, masculine or feminine, you know, or people, places, or things, like a job that, you know, incites competition for you to get to, you know, it's just like a provocation of ego, really. And that's never led anybody to anything lastingly prosperous. So if it's not the Ace of Wands, I don't want it. And truth be told, when it's the Ace of Wands, the wand for me, you ain't got to worry about the pullout game. TMI, but it is what it is. Because we don't have, exactly, shut up. Because we ain't got to worry about what we creating, because we know that it's aligned with our frequency. So ain't no fear of the offspring here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the divine says let it be, so shall it, you know? Like, and clearly with the Lover's card, it's a so shall it be type of situation. Our protection is divine, if you feel me. Oh shoot, and here is the Star card. Oh my God, the Five of Wands is still there, because I didn't get very far, but the Five of Wands is still there. Got the Page of Wands. Now this is the adventure worth exploring, you know, new horizons, it's good news. That's when it's good news, like the difference between like just raw speaking, you know, plainly speaking, knocking somebody up that was a one-night stand or just a situationship, or just, you know, friends with benefits type of a hookup, and, you know, impregnating the woman of your dreams, or your partner, you know, somebody. I feel like most guys, if you want kids, you know, and women, if you choose to have them, it's good news to know that there is offspring between the two of you. You can be excited. You're in a grounded position. You're aligned. You're on the same page. You're in alignment with your supreme selves first and foremost, because that's what the Lovers is. You've already committed to Here's the evidence here, devoted to the supremacy of your spirit, which is why you have attracted this frequency of partnership in the first place. You don't have to, you know, like, there's less to be considerate of in a commitment such as this. Even if the timing may or may not be what you plan for, it's still not a matter of devotion, a question of devotion and commitment in this frequency. You know, when you know it's real, you know it's right. Now, can things change? Can people evolve? Can circumstances shift? Surely, but I feel like when you are truly aligned with a divine partner in a divine partnership, even if it's not an eternal thing, these are the types of relationships that, say 10 years, 20 years down the line, there is a shift, and you know, there's like some mutual change of heart, you know, where there's a direction one wants to go versus the other. I mean, in this type of high frequency, it's probably less likely, but that's why it's also less common, because not many people are willing to patiently wait for this level of partnership, or are willing to settle for something like it. You know, like how Mike Epps is like, I'm something like a pimp, like something like a partner, like good enough type of thing, because I don't want to be alone no more. But when it's real, the type of stuff that you might have had to really like find yourself for, to really wait for, to really pray for, you know, for real, and to turn a lot of duds away for, you know, it's usually something that, worst case scenario, there's still an understanding where you got children together, you can peacefully co-parent or amicably separate, you know, divorce or whatever the case may be. It's not a nasty knockout, drag out fight. Those type of frequencies, like when it comes down to that, and there's been some disloyalty or dishonesty or whatever it is, and that's what causes the rift, 9 times out of 10, it's a relationship that either never was really supposed to be, like it was kind of set up for failure anyway, and there were red flags across the whole board, or it outran its course in its season, and one or both people were afraid to accept it, you know, and respond accordingly. But people that are in divine alignment with themselves first and foremost usually avoid that unfavorable ending one way or another. So certainly anything that's manifested, that's alchemized in that regard, is good news. It's good news. Wow. Let's see what else we got here. This reading is funny to me. So you may either be coming into partnership with, you know, a love of your life type of situation, or definitely a highly passionate and potent love connection, or it could be an existing connection. Say you're already coupled and it is something that has been ordained for a purpose. You may be ascending into that space together, taking on some new journey, and maybe a new chapter in your life, maybe a business together, maybe buying a house, maybe a new location, maybe advancing separately, but, you know, synergized collectively, maybe actually a baby, if I didn't say that enough already. So there's something to look forward to here. Either way. And certainly the haters gonna hate, the peanut gallery on the outside looking in, but they have their own work to focus on at this time, whether or not they realize it or accept it or not. it will become such a distraction from you know, it eventually will deter them from being a distraction, is what ultimately I want to say. Like, they'll become more consumed with either keeping their lives together or elevating themselves, that they may be able to spectate, but they won't be able to irritate as much. Yeah, with the Page of Pentacles, I'm not going to take that though, but the Page of Pentacles, oh, another page. So the Page of Pentacles, yeah, that's right. The Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, they'll be stuck in their own illusion trying to figure out how to make $1 out of 15 cents. And not all in a bad way, because in some ways, you know, like I said, you may be the inspiration for people to be that much more personally invested in their own affairs, to want to clear away the illusions and delusions for themselves, to see the promise for themselves, in themselves even. And in that case, that's amazing, you know. And here is the Page of Cups, where you may attract even that much more admiration for, you know, or flattery. It feels more like admiration with the Page of Cups. Again, for this would be the emotional response, endearing response, to be more admired for what you've been able to achieve and accomplish against all odds. You know, what's at the bottom? And there's the competition again. What the hell? That's 3 times with the Five of Wands. So like I said, it's dual energy, but I will say this: the other side of the Page of Cups could also be apologies. So anybody that still insists on investing their time into competing with you or against you, it will be very unfulfilling and ungratifying. They will be sorry that they wasted their time, because it won't be productive. It won't be productive for anybody, but especially for them. So ultimately, the most you have to worry about is maintaining your healthy boundaries and standards that you set for yourself, carrying that into any partnerships that you engage with, of course, but not so much, you know, any type of paranoia or yeah, it's really like paranoia about what could be a threat or what could be an opposition or resistance at this point. Like, the love is too strong. It's too strong. When it's right, it's too strong. And you'll be able to see, like the Page of Cups, you'll be able to see flattery from fuckery a mile away. You know, you'll be able to recognize it and know like what gets to engage, you know, with this sacred space, if anything at all, and what doesn't. And also, this could be a depiction of offspring as well, of a spiritual essence. So yeah, it could be, we talking about spirit babies now. We done went from the Page of Wands to the Page of Cups. Yeah, with the Fish in the Cup, Pisces energy. It could be some old supernatural offsprings happening here on account of the essence of this exalted partnership. It's on another level. It's beyond this. It's Ace of Wands energy. You know, like it's beyond the fray at this point. It's literally head and shoulders above the rest. So there is no worthy opponent, no considerable threat unless you allow it to be. A few more and I'm out. This is just so interesting to me. Oh, that was the Two of Swords. Flipped in and flipped out. Like, yeah, You Ray Charles to the boo. Exactly. Well, you know, what's the party without him? So he says. Well, this could be the temptation to revert back into limitations or to recoil into insecurity. That's what I'm sensing here. Yeah, but it's the King of Wands, baby. And guess what? I'm going to take you out. Because you have also, like the Queen of Wands, earned your right to be on the board. And then what is it but the Queen of Cups? Yeah, like, come on. That's the essence of love here. And this is the King of Wands here, somebody that can face every opposition with confidence and courage, fearlessness. As a matter of fact, like even with grace for their own demons, you know, like always in grace for self and where you've come from and what, you know, what you could be, what you could still be vulnerable to in the wrong mindset and in a perverted passion, but being confident that you've surpassed that now. You've even the strongest temptation is no match for the King of Wands in his highest frequency. No girls, no guys, even for the Queen of Wands, either frequency we're talking about here. No low vibrational energy, no habits, no addictions, no lower frequency mindsets, no impulsions or compulsions, no temptations. I think I said that already, but definitely double down on that part. It's no insecurity, big one, which is what a lot of lower vibrational responses and reactions are rooted in. Insecurity, in a word. Like, yeah, this is you're empowered because you found the love for yourself on a spiritual level and from a very internal and sacred place. And this is also a depiction of discernment and intuition, like spiritual and emotional intelligence. Yeah, spiritual too, but definitely emotional intelligence. That's no match. The devil's no match for that. The lowest of the lowest frequencies is no match for somebody that loves themselves, that's a self-starter, incited and ignited by their own passions, and they're pure at that has heaven and earth on their side and at their fingertips. Alchemy, you know, that has a solid partnership, support system, foundation, establishment, that has learned how to control their urges, their reactions, their responses, that can recognize the enemy or opposition upon, you know, on sight. It has proven success. It's like, what are we talking about here? This is the Ace of Wands. Like, what are we talking about here? And why are we talking about it? Can't we talk about something else? Let's talk about me and you. Like, for real, what we about to get into? There's nothing to say. Exactly. And guess what? It kind of still did fall in reverse, but I'm taking it up right, because come on now. It fell upside down because that is how it belongs, right side up. And if anything, upside down would be the King of Wands, or that King of Wands energy turning its back on any falsehoods, any obscurities, any lies and illusions. But in the upright, we know what it is. This is clarity of a supreme nature. And once you have found your way to that, nothing else can really delude you otherwise. Not your own pride and ego. You'll be able to sift through even your prideful and egotistical moments, which we all have. You'll still be able to find your way back to the truth. Even those moments of insecurity and doubt and questioning, do I have what it takes? Am I enough? You know, maybe even moments of fear where you are worried about what the future holds or your potential in it. Even in the present, you know, like maybe perhaps being thoughtful about whether or not you have what it takes to uphold the frequency that you have attained, the truth will always set you free to be you again, as long as you are always insistent upon connecting with it and staying connected with it, not looking to be, yeah, exactly, the Chariot card, to move forward, not looking to be glamored or diluted otherwise. It's like seeing the ugly truth for what it is at times, when it can be, even when you're looking in the mirror, but knowing that liberation is not far away. It's always right there at your mental, emotional, and even physical fingertips if you are so ambitious to pursue it. And with the Chariot card, you absolutely are. You're always looking for a way to advance. And that, as they say, new levels, new devils. So that means at every level of ascension, of achievement, there's always that lower frequency of you that you may have to confront. But as advanced as you become, that confrontation becomes less and less of a threat. It becomes less of a horror and less scary and intimidating, because you've had too many proven wins on the battlefield now at this point to know exactly what you're capable of. That's the truth of it. So you might also be getting a new car with the Chariot. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Maybe the car is like an emblem of some, material, some actual materialization of your rewards and your achievements and your success. Like I said before, for many of us, it hasn't been about the material gain. It's just really been, that's why you're in the position of triumph and success that you're in energetically, because you pursued that at the source, which is in the spirit. But like I said, it doesn't mean that you don't still get the rewards of in the physical. You're still privy to that as well, and those privileges are attainable, is just as sure as you believe that you are worthy of them. And so now, coupled with all of that work, the spirit and the truth of the matter, comes the realization and actualization of the return for your sowing, i.e. the harvest, and a new car, a new house, a new relationship, a new partnership, a new job, a new business, a new child, a new location, a new place to live, or whatever it is. That could be what that's representing, is that you are actually experiencing the reward and the reaping of your harvest. The reaping of your sowing is what I mean. One more. It's not been in vain. You haven't done all this work for nothing. Here's the Hangman again, but that's definitely truth and enlightenment through your willingness to commit yourself to it. Once again, it's not those that barreled through like a bull in a china shop when they had all the signs to be still, or when they had all the signposts to go a different way. It's what you were, are, and will always be willing to do, which is be still. And I'm hearing, know that I am God. Know the energy of supreme that is within your being to command enlightenment when it's called for, and have an expectation to receive it. That's how I'm seeing that in this moment. Because there may always be moments that you need to take a pause for the cause, but seeing it clearly enough to know that it's ultimately for your further advancement than it is to be apprehended. Those that see, like life happening for you, not against you type of energy. And that could happen in a new partnership. That could happen, you know, where everything is not always roses and gumdrops and lollipops and rainbows. It may not be, but when there's a synergy of understanding by way of truth, there you could have a still moment, even as practically as being able to be in the room with somebody and not say a damn thing, but still enjoying the moment, enjoying their presence, and being at peace with that. That's the essence of the Hangman here, is that life itself, it becomes an adventure and a pleasure, no matter what the circumstances are. And they may vary, but that there's always something to be grateful for, and that there's always an opportunity to be learning and being advanced for more. Bars. Exactly. My God. The 10 of Cups, Spirit, don't play with me. What's on this one? The 8. But look, that's always knowing. I'm gonna put it like this, because that's always knowing, like I like to say, when to get the hell on from what's not satisfying you. That even comes from this Hangman position, because you're always like, you're an open channel between you're an open channel in the universe. That's what this is giving here with the Ace of Swords and the Hangman. You're always looking to be enlightened and enhanced through truth. So sometimes the revelation is that it may be time to move on from a place, maybe from a relationship, maybe from a job, maybe from a business that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in. Maybe there's something new, a new line of work or a new purpose for your life. When you're recognizing the signs, because your eyes, particularly your first eye, is open to perceive it, it's still always a pleasure, just the sheer grace of having the advantage of moving on to something more fulfilling, because you're always believing that there is something more fulfilling. And that's, if you're not having this experience of total spiritual satisfaction and happiness, this is the gumdrops and rainbows and lollipops type of energy, even if it's in a frequency for a moment, that life is about the reception of this energy at every turn, and I say reception and not pursuit, because it's not necessarily about chasing it. It's believing that you're worthy as an attractive force to be it, you know, that you are it for, and that this gets to crystallize around you and around your commitment to that being itself, if that makes sense. So that means that sometimes when it ain't being, it ain't doing, and it ain't having and giving what it's supposed to have give, sometimes you got to get up and go. But it's always with the faith and fortitude to know that not only are you going to the 9, but in this regard, you're going straight to the 10. You're always in expectation for the utmost happiness and blissfulness that you can achieve in this lifetime. That's a win-win mentality. That's not a matter of ungratefulness or dissatisfaction. That's believing that you are worthy of all of that, of the most of that, and knowing that when that's not the experience, the present experience, an adjustment is necessary. Unapologetic, again, here it is, back to the beginning. Pull out game strong and cut off game strong, because you know what you are worthy of. Period. Period, point blank. I'm done. This was really good. All right, I'm done. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I wish you all the best in your personal, professional, platonic, creative, intimate endeavors. Be safe, be sound, be secure, self-secure above all, because certainly whomever you are, you have earned the trust of Supreme Source, you know, so you certainly can trust that security in your own being at this time. That means you can trust your discernment, you can trust your intuition, your choices, your temperance, your actions, your reactions, your self-control, your passion, as long as all things are cleansed and in alignment, divinely speaking. Heaven trusts you so you can trust yourself and be in expectation again for the materialization and crystallization of the energies that you have already alchemized in the spirit, now being rewarded unto you in the flesh. All right, you deserve it. Congratulations and enjoy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.